institutions are registered in Kenya through the Registrar of Societies, all of them. And so, people claiming those exemptions yet conducting business, you know, let's be fair. Senator Sifuna, you represent Mama Mboga, who comes early in the morning to Wakulima, and she's paying her 50 bob. But people
you can't flog this horse further.
No, the point is made.
Can I just
one was the debt swaps, Senator Cherargei asked. I've not answered your last question.
Yes, please. Yes, true.
There's not been good progress. We've done numerous meetings. One example is, I explained yesterday in a different committee, Chair, how I was going to be very happy having moved Nairobi from 119 billion pending bills to 0, because what was going to happen, I've already reduced from 119 to 86. Now from the 86, the Supreme Court ruled that Nairobi County is owed for the Makasi garrison. It was ruled that it is ours, and we said the military must now start paying for it. And the value of it, in my assessment and the assessment of our team, was 80. It has come down to 75. That negotiation stopped there. But if you press upon them to pay, as even to say to pay an additional 10 billion every year or 20, it will come to deliver services to the people. Because the court found that is a property Nairobi bought for value from Kayole Estates. That time it was 40,000 pounds. So these are the things that can really help us be able to serve the people better. Chair, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Chair, just follow up, because when we finish the issue of revenue, I think we'll be done. Chair, yes. Governor, I sympathize with you with the issue of rating, and we are about the statutory instrument. But I am chittery, because your potential should be 65.1 billion. If I accept the property rate, when you come to parking fees, your potential should be 2.5, but you are collecting 2 billion, just as an example. The hospital and public health fees, you should be collecting 6.2 billion, but you are collecting 1.5 billion. The building plan approvals, and I see many buildings coming up everywhere in this city, you should be collecting 6.1 billion, but you are collecting 1.35 billion. On the issue of business trading license, the potential is 16.0 billion, but you are collecting 2.7 billion. This issue and this analysis of your revenue, the liquor licensing is very interesting, because I normally see estimated potential of 8.4 billion, but you are collecting 338 million. I'm just giving breakdown, exempting the rating, the property rate. So does it mean, one, how do you, through the chair, how do you ensure that this potential is maximized? Number two, for example, like liquor licensing. I know most Nairobians like sheree. And whenever I drive around, you see quiver, you see what, and even your senator with indulgence has always referred himself as Waziri wa Sheree. I thought you should have at least corrected 5 billion to 8.5 billion. So what are you doing to maximize this other revenue that you don't need the rating at? Finally, you have said that you are moving to from non-cash basis. Governor, we saw one of your senior officials, although this is a matter under investigation, was found with 65.6 million, although I'm told it was more. You never know what happens in this country. And it's a senior county official, and you are talking about moving to non-cash. Why would a senior official be found with more than 65 million in a house? What is, the point is, I don't need to deal with the investigating part, but you are talking about non-collection through cash. So my concern, if you find a senior official and you have said we are moving to cashless, then some of us doubt, considering finding 65 million with one person is very, very dangerous.
Thank you, Chair. Let me deal with the substantive issues. Yes, the potential in those revenue streams that you have mentioned. I'm not agree with the figures, because that was just an estimate, but it is high. But remember, you also need resources to collect resources. You know, you need to invest in equipment. You need, and especially for what we call the DCU, the debt collection unit. We are now getting into leasing to have more vehicles for those teams that go to the ground. And so the potential is there, but of course we also don't want to overtax Nairobians. We're not raising taxes. We've not raised for the last 2 or 3 cycles, but we're expanding where people can actually be able to pay. An example that counties have not explored well I think apart from Kisumu and maybe Lamu, if I'm not wrong, is what you call entertainment tax. I think Kwale, one of the coastal counties. You know, the constitution says that counties can levy business and property fees, and B, it says entertainment taxes. If an entertainment tax of whatever percentage is put on a lot of what you'd call entertainment, it is a potential for all counties to actually raise some money, and it can be collected even by KRA, you know, as a percentage as they collect their VAT, without overburdening Kenyans. Yes, Senator Cherargei, Nairobians love sherehe. There's been an increase in liquor, especially this financial year, again because of the same process. We now moved to liquor pay. Now, liquor pay is a system that is digital, that all of those who are applying to run these businesses are now using. They're very happy with it. You know, it's very hard to hear people you're regulating coming to say thank you for doing that. I think finally on the officer found with money, it is not revenue he was found with. I don't think it's being investigated. But in Nairobi, first, we don't condone that. And I condemned it completely. I suspended the officer immediately. We've seen cases of people being found with money from national government, from other counties before, whether it was bribes collected from people, etc. It is wrong. And we must do everything we can do to tighten systems to prevent that. Of course, as I said, even in that in my statement, there's a space for personal culpability. You know, I saw the media, my friends here, trying to now run with it, saying Sakaja's officer found, like, surely, how do I know what you have in a bucket in your house or under your bed?
But he's your officer.
I have 19,000 officers.
You are right, he's your officer.
But when someone else was found, KPA, they didn't say so-and-so's officer found with 500 million, you know? It is very unfair when
but they ran the same headline. I hope you saw.
Thank you.
But the point I'm making is
that in defense of the media, yes, Sakaja, because you know I'm also ascribed.
So they even apologized to me.
But you know,
for the 4-on-1,
there is nothing wrong with them making reference to you because they also need familiarity, you know.
No, they can say Nairobi County Government officer.
The boss of Nairobi City officer is the boss is Sakaja. So
a very close ally.
I think we can close. But you have worked with him.
Very close ally.
Let's close. But some of us know you as such. Yes, is your close
Senator. Chairman.
Progress.
Chairman, as we make progress,
yes.
Governor, I think you need to. I'm happy that you are condemning the officer who was found with money. You know, when you look at the projections on how much you should be making, and when you see an officer working with 65 million shillings, that should be an indicator there is a big leakage in terms of collecting of rates or revenue and the like. So you really need to, you can't blame the media. Of course, certainly there is a problem within your own administration, that there is that window of somebody working with 65 million shillings is an indicator that there is a problem. So I hope when you go back, you will fix that issue, that weakness in system that can enable an officer to walk around with 65 million shillings.
Chair, thank you.
Chair, I don't know why the governor is complaining because I don't know if he saw they were saying the same. When you don't show up to the committee, the people of Nairobi are saying go and get him from his house. Because they say you are my governor. Yeah, they say that I am unable to do oversight. In fact, even on this specific officer, the expectation was that I should know where all of your officers live and should be conducting periodic oversight visits. And now at home. So you shouldn't be complaining because at the end of the day, the people expect that those of us in these positions do something about some of these things.
So as we make progress, members, just Governor.
Yes, sir.
In the financial year 23-24, for land rates, we corrected 3.4 billion, but there was a huge leap. For the financial year 24-25, you collected 18.5 billion. Is it?
No.
Is that figure okay?
No, that is one of the queries. That was a receivable of.
That is a receivable
of those who were in
for land rates.
For land rates.
Okay.
Those are people. In fact, those are the best because these are people you know, isn't it? They have an account. you have invoiced them, but they have not paid.
Okay.
It is easy to enforce on those ones than those who you may not know. And what we're working on as well, and I really wish it would be faster, an API between us and the Ministry of Lands. Because sometimes you get a defaulter, and then they say, oh, I did a subdivision. And so they say, or the ownership changed. The county should be able to know real time when those changes happen, so that we go after the right person. But the 18.5 chair was receivable. In
So
terms
it is
of people-
occasioned by the change in the
Accrual
from
to-
accrual to
yeah.
from cash to accrual.
From cash to accrual.
Okay, let's make progress. So people, do what you can do so that we can get these receivables. And then number two, if there's anything that the Senate can do
Yes.
in terms of fast tracking the
Rating Act.
Yeah, the Rating Act and the other one is which one?
Sectional property.
Sectional Properties Act. For the
Chair,
regulations.
maybe
We
just
need to
1 minute,
Yeah.
30 seconds. You said you are supposed to do something with lands, Ministry of
Yeah.
Lands. Is there progress so that we don't need to come up next year so that it assists? Because I know majority, if they can give you those, it is easy.
It's slowed
And
down.
Nixon Korir is your personal friend.
That is true. But you know, institutions also exist. And we have been taken round by officers. I don't know why. Because, you see, if Senator Cherargei, you buy land today from Senator Wambua, I should be able, as the rating authority, to know who is the new...
The other way around. Me buying from him, not him buying from me.
Oh, they got blessings, you know,
Yeah, it's okay. But
from my lips to God's ears.
Members, I think we need to agree.
You know, Wambua is an
Make
incoming
progress.
governor, so
Yes.
you should expect
We need to agree.
to be told
So,
such things.
Governor, not really auditor, let's look at paragraph 9.2 on under receipting of own source revenue against bank collections. Go through the paragraph, then we get to know what the governor has to say.
Thank you, Chair. 9.2, under receipting of own source revenue against bank correction. Analysis of Nairobi State County Executive own source revenue for the financial year under review reviewed variance between the receipts recorded in the automated revenue system and credit in the bank account. The system reported total receipts of Kenya shillings 10 billion 602 million 255,881, while the bank reflected collection of Kenya shillings 11 billion 515 152 905, resulting in unreconciled variance of Kenya shillings 912 million 897 014. This indicates that part of the revenue credited in the bank was not receipted in the system as required. Failure to align the system with the bank credit undermines the integrity of the reported revenue and weakens the accountability in the management of the public funds. Further, it was not possible to confirm the completeness and accuracy of own source revenue for the year, and the county is exposed to revenue leakage and possible misappropriation of funds leading to misstatement of financial reports. Thank you.
Governor, let's get the response.
Chair, allow me to read it and then just give a further explanation. Let me read what we gave. Chair, the variance of 912,897,014 is as a result of payments done directly to the bank without specific revenue stream narration or invoice numbers. Such payments do not reflect in the system as integration is based on the bill or invoice numbers. These are receipted later when reconciliation is done that identify similar payments related to issued bills. The county is in process of enhancing system integration to ensure that this challenge is resolved. So, Chair, the system that you're talking about here, the revenue collection system, has three ways of paying. One is through the USSD. When you dial *647#, because once you dial *647#, there's a drop-down menu, and you'll say, I am paying for land rates, or I am paying for to use Uhuru Park or whatever it is, and then you pay. There'll be services.go.ke, where whatever you pay then gets receipted because you paid for a specific item. And of course, going to any customer service center, and you know that Moruma has paid $1 million for this. Now, there's a category of people who send a payment directly to the county, to the bank. This 912 is money that there is more money in our bank than in the system, payments that didn't go through the system. So somebody just does an RTGS to Nairobi County Government of 5 million or of 3 million, and then our guys have to figure it out. What was this 3 million for? We found it in the bank statement, but we don't know what revenue thing it was until that person comes himself and says, I paid for approval of building plans and this is my receipt. So that is what we're trying to get integrations, including speaking to the Kenya Bankers Association. This normally happens with the banks that we don't bank with. When you go to cooperative bank and the banks we bank with, they assist or they have a drop down. But through the Kenya Bankers Association, we want them to have a drop down menu. If someone is paying Nairobi County, you can go to the drop down and say this is for rates, or this is for, whatever it is. In fact, you'll see there's very small discrepancy in parking payments, for instance, because that one is direct. You have not been invoiced, it's star 647, you pay, and there's no discrepancy. So this 912 is attributed to that, but it is not money that has leaked away from the county. It is more money that has come than what the system has reported, because of people paying directly to our banks.
Okay, Governor.
I hope you understand.
Point us to Appendix 9.1 in your documents.
Yeah?
9.1. I don't seem to be having it. You have it?
Yes.
It's there. It's not labeled 9.1. Even as you look at the appendix, auditor, there was more money in the bank
Than in the system.
Is this a reconciliation issue, or does it point to loss of funds? Do you think the response has answered that question?
Thank you, Chair. What the management provided in soft copy is the revenue for the total 11. What is outstanding, our concern also is the reconciliation to support these reconciliation 912. The variance between the two, because we need to ascertain the accuracy of the 912 million. So that is what is outstanding.
912 million, you need to know where it came from. Is it possible to know where it came from? That's what the audit is.
So that's the process. We have to, if someone just sends an M-Pesa from Dallas, does not say what it's for.
Governor, the problem is in your response, you said the reconciliations and schedules have been provided in soft copy. The auditor is saying there are no reconciliations in that soft copy. That's what he's saying.
You don't have the...
Did you provide the reconciliations?
We provided, yeah. We provided the reconciliation to the extent that we can reconcile. There are some which remain that we are not aware of.
So then we should be able to see if what you're saying is correct. If it was 912, we should see reconciliations for at least 400 or 300. Is that the case, Auditor General?
Yeah.
Exactly, that's the case.
So how far have they reconciled?
Because they were now addressing the specific, they only provided the total revenue.
You're losing us. Discrepancy.
You're losing us. The governor is saying he has provided reconciliations to a certain extent. That's what we want to know, so that we know what reconciliations are outstanding.
We provided.
So how much has been reconciled?
They need the reconciliation for the entire amount.
For all of it? So there's a reconciliation
for the 900.
But what happens is a small amount left, we'll get the specific, is then reported as other incomes. That is what we want to give. And Chair, by the way, what would be really bad is if the system has more money than the bank.
Yeah.
That if there's 912, the system and the bank is missing 912, that's a leakage. This is extra in the bank than what was in the system. So just provide the detail to where we got. Of course, you'll not be able to determine all of it until somebody, for instance, until I come to your house and say you didn't pay rent. They'll say, no, this M-Pesa on this date was the actual rent payment. Then we reconcile.
So auditor, because you don't have that reconciliation, is it possible you keep it in view in your next audit. Yeah, in your next audit. Maybe 2 weeks you provide that document to the auditors for whatever you've been able to reconcile. 14 days.
That's okay.
You want to ask something, Dr. Legwe?
Governor, for how long will you rely on manual extraction of bank balances to reconcile your statements?
What do you mean by manual extraction?
Your system does not reconcile.
It does.
It doesn't.
It does. The system I know does. It does.
The auditor has pointed out that, however, the system lacks full functionality to generate accurate, comprehensive, and reliable revenue reports. Consequently, the county relies on manual extraction and analysis of revenue from bank statements.
No. Maybe let me ask the receiver of revenue to explain. Tell us. Also an ICT guy.
Thank you, Chair. I think the difference that the auditor is pointing out to is the same 912, because if it did not have the proper narration, the system will not be able to recognize it. But once it has the proper narration, then the system is able to recognize it. So that is a variance that is there. And that's why His Excellency says that we are also engaging the bankers associations for us to be able to have the payments come in a manner that is recognizable by the system. Because remember,
Chair,
every single day there are thousands of people.
Sorry,
On a point of procedure.
yes, Senator.
Since we have, and the rules of parliament are very clear, since we don't have that document here, why are we discussing?
We are engaging
Why
a
don't
document
we
that is not there.
rest the matter as stop,
Yes.
then give further direction, because we are shooting in the dark.
That is what I had proposed.
Yes.
Before Dr. Lego said he wants to ask. I didn't know he's asking about the same thing. Why don't we then go to 9.3? 9.3 auditor. 9.4. No, revenue calculation. 9.4.
9.3 is the rest.
Sorry,
9.4.
let's go to 9.4.
Thank you, Chair. Unauthorized revenue reversal. Audit established that 2 commercial banks contracted by the Nairobi City County reversed a total amount of Kenya shillings 2,224,474 from the revenue correction at source, without prior authorization from the county treasury or legal basis. These reversals were not backed by formal deferred policy or disclosed or approved by the county budget execution framework, allowing revenue correction agent to reverse funds directly from the revenue account without legal authority or treasury approval amount to spending at source, exposing the county to financial mismanagement and loss of public funds. In the circumstances, the accuracy, regularity, and completeness of the revenue correction totaling to 28,869,874,594 could not be confirmed.
Okay, Governor.
Chair, there's an answer. Let me read it first, then I explain. Chair, the reversed amount of 2,224,474 was noted by the county and addressed to the bank. The standard operating procedures indicate the bank should seek approval anytime there is a reversal. Anytime there's an error made by the bank or the client, a standard reversal form is filled and approved by either the bank manager, if the error is originating from the bank, or the Director of Revenue Administration, if the error is originating from the client. Then an approval is granted through the same form. So what we've attached is letters to banks stopping unauthorized revenue reversals and an extract of bank statements showing revenue reversals of 2.2 million, 24,474. Corrective measures undertaken, SOPs for revenue reversals were reinforced and they're operational currently in the county. Banks were formally instructed to seek approval before effecting reversals. And this also should include M-Pesa and mobile money providers. Standard reversal forms requiring authorization by responsible officers were introduced. I don't think should I expound more? It's a small, it's not an insignificant amount.
Yeah.
Out of 13.8 billion, this is 0.016%. But it is normally when an error has been made, you want to pay 1,100, you